In this video, I'm starting with chapter 9, APJ Abdul Kalam. The chapter's name is The Joy of Reading. Reading maketh a full man. Autobiographical note. Abul Pakir Abdul Kalam was born in the holy city of Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu in 1931 to a middle-class Muslim family. He studied aerospace engineering at Madras Institute of Technology and later spent several decades as a scientist at DRDO, Defence Research and Development Organization of India, and ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. He is often affectionately referred to as the Missile Man of India for his contribution to the development of India's missile projects. Prithvi and Agni missiles, as also for the Nandi hovercraft named after the white bull that acts as Lord Shiva's vehicle. He was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1981, Padma Vibhushan in 1990 and Bharat Ratna in 1997, and in addition was honoured by several universities and organizations from across the world. A humanitarian, a visionary and a statesman, he served as the 11th President of India 2002 to 2007. He donated his entire salary and savings to a charitable trust, PUR, providing urban amenities to rural areas, where he knew it would be well utilized, as he was aware that he did not need much and the government of India would take care of him after his term was over. The joy of reading. Good books become lifelong companions. They enrich our lives and guide us with their undying appeal and ability to talk to multiple generations of readers. One such book in my life is Light from Many Lamps. I bought it in the year 1953 from an old bookstore in Murray Market, Chennai. This book has been my close friend and companion for more than 5 decades. I have read and reread it several times, and it has been rebound many times. Whenever there is a problem, I turn the pages of the book and it soothes me and even points me to a path where a solution may lie. When happiness overwhelms me, the book again softly touches the mind and brings about a balanced thinking. Recently, a friend gifted me with a new edition of the book, and I told him it was the best gift anyone could have given me. 50 years from now, I'm sure the book will still be available, perhaps in a new avatar. Truly, good books are eternal. Another book that I have cherished is Man the Unknown by Dr. Alexis Carrel, a doctor turned philosopher and a Nobel laureate. This book highlights how the mind and body both need to be treated to cure an ailment, as the two are integrated. You cannot treat one and ignore the other. I think this is an invaluable book for those who want to understand the connections of the body and spirit, especially those who wish to become doctors. They will learn that the human body is not a mechanical system. It is a very intelligent organism made of psychological and physiological systems with a most intricate and sensitive feedback system. Another book that has been my code of conduct for life is Thiruvalluvar's Thirukurul, a Tamil epic. I would like to recall one couplet from the Thirukural which has influenced my life for the last 6 decades. It says that whatever may be the depth of the river or lake or pond, whatever may be the condition of the water, the lily flower always blossoms. Similarly, if there is a determination to achieve a goal, even if it is impossible to achieve, the person will succeed. There is another book that has enriched my thinking immensely. It is the autobiography of a village boy who went on to become the world's leading expert in laser technology. His name is Mani Bhaumik. In 1968, an Indian scientist hailing from West Bengal, who was a PhD in physics from IIT Kharagpur, was invited to join the team at the Research and Technology Center of Northrop Corporation, a major aerospace contractor who offered extraordinary facilities for a working physicist. He was working in the area of carbon monoxide CO laser. Based on his research in 1968, his colleagues at Northrop demonstrated the most powerful continuous laser to date. In a further step forward, the Indian scientist was able to make the laser operate at room temperatures, something previously thought impossible. The scientist, Dr. Mani Bhaumik, presented his results at a University of California, Los Angeles seminar. Edward Teller, the man whose revelatory insights had earned him the title Father of the H-bomb, was there. Dr. Taylor was so intrigued by the presentation that when he felt nature's call and had to leave the room, he requested Dr. Bhaumik to suspend the talk till he returned. A Soviet scientist later wrote in a prestigious Russian journal, after Bhaumik's thorough work on the CO laser, there isn't much left to do on that laser. His invention in laser led to the development of LASIK, LASIK, an important application of eye surgery. Dr. Mani Bhaumik wrote a book called Code Name God, integrating science and spirituality. I read the book in one sitting and enjoyed every chapter, which brings out the pain and pleasure of the life of the author. Stories of perseverance and extraordinary courage always inspires me. This piece in a book called Everyday Greatness by Stephen R. Covey has remained with me ever since. Lindy and Gary had 2 daughters, Trudy 13 and Jennifer 9, and a son Stephen. At the age of 18 months, Gary detected something abnormal with their son Stephen. A CT scan by a neurologist revealed that the vermis, an area of the brain that transmits messages to and fro from the body's muscles, had not developed. The neurologist declared that Stephen would never walk or talk and that his physical and mental functions would be severely affected. Gary couldn't eat or sleep for days. However, Trudy challenged the doctor's prognosis and announced that she did not believe what the doctor had said about Stephen. She decided to work with her mother till Stephen became normal. They started reading a passage to him every day at the dinner table, which became a habit. Jennifer and Trudy also asked questions and pointed out animals or people illustrated in books. For many weeks, there was no response from Stephen. After 3 months, one evening, Stephen suddenly wriggled away from the cushions. The family watched him inching towards the children's books. Stephen flipped through the book till he saw the page filled with pictures of animals. Then, just as quickly as it opened, Stephen's world shut down again. The following night, as Jennifer prepared to read, her brother crawled to the same book and opened the same page again. This showed that Stephen's memory was continuously improving. Both Trudy and Jennifer played the piano in the presence of Stephen. One day, after practicing, Jennifer lifted Stephen from his place under the piano. This time he was uttering a new sound. He was humming the music and enjoying it. Simultaneously, the family also worked to build up his muscles. Gary, Trudy, and Jennifer dabbed peanut butter on the boy's lips, and by licking it off, he exercised his tongue and jaw. When Stephen was 4.5 years old, he still couldn't speak words, but he could make some sounds and he had a remarkable memory. After studying a 300-piece jigsaw puzzle, he could assemble the pieces in one sitting. After many rejections, Stephen was admitted to the Robert Allen Montessori School run by Louise Bogart, who found that Stephen was determined to make himself understood. One day, Bogart stood off to the side and was watching the teacher work with another child on numbers. "What number comes next?" the teacher asked. The child drew a blank. Instead, the answer came from elsewhere. 20, Stephen blurted. Stephen had not only spoken clearly, but had also given the correct answer. Bogart approached the teacher. "Did Stephen ever work on this?" she asked. "No," the teacher answered. "We worked with him a lot on numbers 1 through 10, but we didn't know he had learned any beyond 10. That day, Bogart told Stephen's mother, "This is just the beginning of what the Stephen is capable of." His motor skills remained poor, so Jennifer, Gary, and Trudy continued to work hard with Stephen, particularly on his motor skills. "I can do it," Stephen assured Jennifer one day. "Just give me time." After that, Stephen continuously improved and was admitted to a mainstream Catholic school in 1990. Such is the power of collective determination to cure a child. Books can be sources of inspiration for anyone, anywhere. In 2011, I went to Madurai to inaugurate the pediatric oncology unit of the Meenakshi Mission Hospital. After the program, a person who looked very familiar approached me. When he came closer, I realized that he has been my driver when I was working with DRDL in Hyderabad. His name is V. Kathiresan, and he worked with me day and night for 9 years. During that time, I had noticed that he was always reading in his spare time, be it a book, magazine, or a newspaper. That dedication attracted me. One day, I asked him what made him read so much during his leisure time. He replied that he had a son and daughter, and both asked him lots of questions. In order to give them correct answers, he read and studied whenever he got the time. The spirit of learning in him impressed me, and I told him to study formally through a distance education course. I also gave him some free time to attend the course and complete his plus 2 and then to apply for higher education. He took that as a challenge and kept on studying. He did BA in history, then MA in history, and then he did MA in political science. He also completed his B.Ed and then M.Ed. Then he registered for his PhD in Manommaniam Sundaranar University and got his PhD in 2001. He joined the education department of Tamil Nadu government and served for a number of years. In 2011, when I met him, he was an assistant professor in the Government Arts College at Melur near Madurai. What extraordinary commitment and dedication had helped him to acquire the right skills in his leisure time and changed the course of his life. It certainly doesn't matter who you are if you have a vision and determination to achieve that vision through the constant acquisition of knowledge. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. In this context, I must emphasize the importance of home libraries. On 11th August 2009, I was participating in the valedictory function of the Book Fair Festival at Erode in Tamil Nadu. While addressing the audience, I suggested that every one of the children present there allocate at least 1 hour a day for reading quality books. This will enrich them with knowledge and see them grow as great children. I also suggested all the parents should start a small library in their own houses with approximately 20 books to begin with, of which around 10 should be children's books. This would help the children in the house to cultivate reading habits at an early age. Many people who attended this function appreciated this thought and decided to start a library at their homes. I told them to take this oath. Today onwards, I will start a home library with 20 books, and out of which 10 books will be children's books. My daughter and son will enlarge this home library with 200 books. My grandchildren will build a great home library of 2000 books. I consider our library a lifelong treasure and the precious property of our family. We will spend at least 1 hour at the library to study along with our family members. After taking this oath, a surprising event happened. Thousands of people rushed to the bookstalls, and within an hour, most of the books at the book fair were exhausted. A home library is the greatest wealth. Reading for 1 hour each day can transform our children into great teachers, leaders, intellectuals, engineers, scientists, and most importantly, into thinking adults. Apart from enriching the knowledge of every family member, a reading habit also creates healthy discussions among family members, which is essential for the sustained harmony of the entire family. This completes this entire chapter, The Joy of Reading by APJ Abdul Kalam. Let's do the discussions and few of the questions. Relate the story of Stephen as narrated by the author. Stephen, a young child, was diagnosed with a brain disease in which his motor skills would not function. The doctor's prognosis was that Stephen would no longer be able to talk or walk. But Stephen's mom, his father, Gary, and his sisters, Trudy and Jennifer, they were determined to prove the doctor wrong. They worked hard on improving the motor skills by using different techniques like applying peanut butter on Stephen's lips so that he could move his lips. They also taught him from children's books, pointing out animals, figures of animals. Ultimately, Stephen was able to improve his memory capacity and was also able to talk and walk with the help and the support of his family members. This shows the power of collective effort of the family in helping a child. Explain briefly, next question, explain briefly the meaning of LASIK and its application to eye surgery. LASIK was developed by Dr. Bhumik. Dr. Mani Bhaumik, when he was working in the R&D department of Northrop Corporation, an aerospace contractor, as a physicist. LASIK is used in eye surgery for cataract surgeries. Books can be source next question. Books can be sources of inspiration, writes Dr. Kalam. In about 200 words, write a review of a book which has been a source of inspiration to you. Individual students can write their own detailed 250 page or 250 words, sorry, 200 words, a detailed synopsis of a book that they have read, be it spiritual book or any kind of books that students have read. What are Dr. Kalam's views on home libraries? Dr. Kalam's views on home library is that parents and children should start collecting books in their libraries and keep a library or develop a library with starting with few books and keep on increasing them, and the entire family should read for an hour from this library sitting together. Explain the meaning of code of conduct. Code of conduct that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam spoke about is the principles that one follows in their life, the moral values, the ethics that one follows in one's daily life, be it to speak the truth always, be kind, helpful to others, be grateful for the things that one has in their own life. These are the principles that one follows no matter what the situation be. And Thiruvalluvar's, the, the, the saint, the Tamil saint, Thiruvalluvar's Thirukural is one book that had been an inspiration and a code of conduct to follow the teachings of that which he imbibed in his life, throughout his life, was this book. He spoke of a couplet where he spoke about lily flower, although staying in mud, in but blossoms regardless. Thank you very much for listening.